Right, to the stories of the day. Garissa Senator Mohamed Yusuf Haji was today laid to rest only hours after he passed away in Nairobi at the age of 80. Following his death, tributes poured out for the fallen senator and former BBI taskforce chairperson, who was described as a father figure to many. As KTN's George Maringa now reports, Haji was interred in line with Muslim rites in a ceremony attended by, among other people, President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Early Monday morning, the country woke up to news of the death of Garissa Senator Yusuf Haji, who passed away at the Aga Khan University Hospital in Nairobi at the age of 80. That meant that the Muslim elder and career civil servant who had previously been receiving treatment in Turkey would be buried on the same day in accordance with Islamic rites and traditions. And so the preparations began. From the hospital, the body was transported to his residence at Riverside, Nairobi for preparation. Several leaders, friends and family members trooped here in their numbers to pay their last respects for the fallen Garissa senator. Each had their memories.
Magnanimous, he always allowed us to go to him to get wisdom.
For me, he was a father figure, so I reached out to him. He was my confidant.
There's no better gift that he has left behind, but just he has mentored many people, including myself, in my career, in my life. Somebody I have a lot of adoration for.
He was strong but pragmatic. He was honest but also able to balance the complexities of politics while weaving his ethics into it.
Haji's death sending grief far and wide, even to his home county, Garissa.
He was a peacemaker for all tribes here in Garissa. He was one of our father.
Alikuwa anapenda usalama. Maoni yake yote alikuwa usalama. Na usalama yake ilikuwa kitu ambayo ni dumu. Maoni yake ilikuwa tunasikiza mzuri sana. Lakini wakati yake imefika, tunaombea Mungu ape janna firdaus.
Haji's family, led by one of his sons and Director of Public Prosecutions Nuruddin Haji, was also present. Shortly after 2 p.m., the body was removed from the senator's residence and transported to Masjid Nur Mosque in South Sea for the final rites. Here, hundreds of Muslim faithful turned up to pay their last respects, as well as participating in the Asr and Salatu Janaza prayers.
I personally met him in Malindi just before he traveled. Engaged on a few pleasant conversations like we always do, me and him at a personal level. But obviously, a constitution is not a holy book. It's not Quran or Bible. It must have issues. Even him, he addressed a bit of issues, and he was engaging the leadership.
From the mosque, the body was then transported to his final resting place, the Langata Muslim Cemetery. Here, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto joined hundreds of mourners for the interment. He was laid to rest at 4:30 p.m. as planned, thereby ending the journey in public service and politics for a man who served his nation for 51 years.
Haji, mashauri yake haikuwa ya kitu chochote. Ni mashauri ya kutoka kwa roho, ya kutoka fikira zake.
The burial ceremony marking the final journey for a man who has been described as a steadfast leader among other qualities and who will be remembered for fostering peace in the country. George Maringa, KTN News, Nairobi.
And of course, prior to his death, the late Mohamed Yusuf Haji had an illustrious career that spanned close to 4 decades in the provincial administration and about 22 more in politics. Our senior reporter, Rita Tinina, now looks at the life and times of the man who was Kenya's defense minister when Kenyan troops were first deployed to Somalia to combat the Al-Shabaab.
Front.
Tujaribu kuunganisha wananchi wa Kenya.
On the local scene.
Amani lazima irejee. Watoto wa shule waende wasome. Mayatima wapate kulala vizuri.
Soft-spoken but firm. The career administrator and politician Mohamed Yusuf Haji emerged as one man who always promoted a conciliatory tone. Perhaps what landed him the role of chairman of the Building Bridges Initiative Task Force. For those who worked with him,
I think we couldn't have been given a better chairman. Diligent,
efficient, time-conscious, a real administrator par excellence.
His journey to the national limelight began 60 years ago when he joined the provincial administration as a district officer. He served as a DO for 10 years before rising to a provincial commissioner during the Jomo Kenyatta era in 1970. Following Kenyatta's death in 1978, Daniel Arap Moi retained him as a provincial commissioner when he took over as president. Haji served as the Rift Valley Provincial Commissioner for close to 3 decades. Having served in the provincial administration for 37 years, 10 as a DO and 27 as a PC, Yusuf Haji left the provincial administration and took on another chapter. In 1998, he joined politics as a nominated member of parliament on a Kanu ticket and was appointed assistant minister in the office of the president. He served as a nominated MP until the 2002 general elections, when he sought election to parliament as the MP for Ijara. He was elected on a Kanu ticket. After completing his first term as Ijara MP, he sought re-election and won in the 2007 elections. Then President Mwai Kibaki picked him as the defense minister, a position he held throughout Mwai Kibaki's second term as president, and which saw him play key roles in Kenya's national security, including the Operation Linda Nchi. Kenya's defense forces were deployed to Somalia to fight the Al-Shabaab militia under his tenure. In the 2013 elections, he set his sights on the Garissa senatorial seat on a TNA ticket. He sought re-election on a Jubilee ticket and won a second term as Garissa senator in the 2017 elections. In the Senate, he was seen as an elder, one who brought sobriety to the sometimes disorderly Senate. He was chairman of the National Security and Foreign Relations Committee. Among his key proposals was the recruitment of individuals from indigenous communities to security teams as a way of fighting cattle rustling. He led several initiatives in the search for peace between local communities in Moyale, Marsabit County in 2014.
Thank you so much.
As a steward of the BBI, he has not lived to see the fruits of the process his team initiated, but the man of few words, Mohamed Yusuf Haji, will be remembered for his role in efforts towards national security and peace among local communities. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
And may his soul rest in peace. And he's not the only